Wednesday. I haven't seen y'all in like 2 weeks. I mean, I've been behind the scenes, but I haven't been able to be on here to host in like 2 weeks. So, what's been going on with everybody? As usual, I can always give some updates about me, what's been going on. But yeah, I want to hear from y'all first. Let me pull up my YouTube on my phone so I can see. But yeah, I want to hear from y'all first. Okay, hey Dawn. Hey Tana. Hey Reality. Hey Asada. Hey Gemma. Hey Naeem. Hey Tay Bands. Hey Raquel. Hey Bree. Y'all, Bree looks so nice for graduation. Hey Sane. Um, Reality, I've been good. I can't complain. I honestly could say though, I do need to practice some self care, some more of it anyway, because I know this week I've been having some symptoms of burnout, but I'm a kind of try to implement a system because I know systems work better for me. I'm trying to like find a balance for myself. Um, Gemma said I'm doing good, getting ready for the summer and the art show. Oh my God, thank you for reminding me because I know that I got your sip and paint to look forward to while we like in between like doing success sessions and stuff. So I'm excited for that, and I hope that you sell out all that. If you already didn't sell out, because we know how your sip and paints get. Um, Dawn, right? You already know. Happy Winning Wednesday. Bree said same, and I've been drained and stressed lately. Yeah, I definitely feel that. Definitely going to implement some more stuff. Probably get my hair done, stuff like that. I finally got like the car situation like basically dialed down, I guess you can say. All I gotta do is get my inspection, and there's a couple things that my dad advised me to do with the car because he's a mechanic. So I probably do those little list things, but that was like the main thing I wanted to get done this summer, and I got a couple other things I wanted to do. So I'm gonna try to do that, but also not overwork myself too. Cause it's good to have goals, but sometimes you gotta like adjust the timeline of when they're gonna get done. Hey Sid. Dawn said today I had an amazing day. I love the Lexington Market Focus Group. Right, I heard y'all did your thing earlier, you and Elder. I just came back from Lexington Market. Me and Lamar went, and it was really good. And I believe Lamar got a job opportunity right after the focus group, so that was really amazing. I can definitely see the vision of where they want to go, and I hope they do stick to the timeline of opening up in September. But I was talking to them about like the culture, like in there, but also around the market as well. Don't say I love Elder Down. Don't we all? Gemma said I still got Sip and Paint tickets. Get yours soon. I think it's July the 28th, if I'm not mistaken. So make sure y'all tune in to Gemma's Sip and Paint. Gemma Echo Loving Elder. Hey Nyasia. Hey Yo Yo. Yolanda said, yo, what that mean? What's going on? Hey Dallas, y'all. Everybody welcome Dallas. Um Dallas is actually going to Spelman with me. So I'm hoping that I can, take her under my wing. She family. She been wanting to hop on for a while. So make sure y'all welcome her. Let her know about some of the projects y'all on. Maybe she can get a little bit more involved in Heart Smiles. Um, okay, my bad. Gemma said Sunday, July 24th. So make sure y'all tuned in. Y'all pay for your tickets. Me and my mother going. So get your mother go. Get your father to go. Your aunt, uncle, grandmother, grandfather, all your family members, bring them out so we can shut Gemma Sip and Paint down. Okay? Um, but yeah, yo, what happened? And then we about to let my guest on soon so we can get this Winning Wednesday started. Um, Let me see if I can pull Gemma's Sip and Paint flyer up real quick because I see Dawn just asked for it. It's not gonna be blown up because y'all know Instagram don't act right on my laptop, so I can't screen share. But I'm gonna see if I can share it from her personal page on my phone. Okay, so this is the one for the art exhibit. The Frames of Life art exhibit. Don't mind my nails, y'all. I told you I got to do some more self-care. This is the one for the art exhibit, Frames of Life art exhibit, August the 6th. I'm going to that before I leave because I'm moving on the 13th. Okay, Gemma, stop playing. Stop playing. Talk about you going to start your application for Spelman. Y'all know I love y'all coming where I'm at. Take a little bit of home with me. This is the one right here. So make sure y'all come to the Neo Soul Sipment Paint. Yeah. And get the one with the biggest amount of people. Y'all get a deal. So, yeah. I'm about to let my guest on, but I'm gonna keep on checking in with y'all as we go. Keeping on, highlighting the comments and stuff. Make sure we get to all of the comments. But yeah, I'm really excited for hopefully Gemma do apply, and I really do hope to get to no Dallas. She a dub too, so y'all know I'm going extra hard for Dallas because she went to Western and she went to Spelman. Come on. So yeah, hey Dante. All right, y'all. So the superstars of the week again, Miss Jewel and Mr. Desmond. Let's see what's going on. How y'all feeling?
We're good. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic.
Where my money at, Cam? Where my money at, Cam?
Hey, look, I don't got it.
You don't got it.
I didn't forget. I don't think I told everybody how y'all got to be a part of like the Heart Smiles family now. But I don't know if y'all noticed when y'all was voting for the collectively challenge. I think a couple months ago, we were doing a grant competition. After I won the competition, it was some other winners, which are right here on the screen with me. So I was like, how can we, collaborate and have them be involved? And I just had a meeting with Miss Jewel back when I was down in Atlanta virtually, and I just loved her energy. And I was like, you know what? Let me just open this up for room for opportunity with what we got with the other heartbeats, because I love her energy and it was kind of contagious. So I'm like, maybe I could share this with the heartbeats. And I met Mr. Desmond at the flea market, so now they're here. And they're gonna be.
But where my money at though, dog?
I don't got it. Like, I don't got it. It's with the
As Miss Jewel would say, run me my money. How you doing, Cam? It's good to see you.
It's nice seeing you too. But what we talking about today?
All right.
Let me see if some of the heartbeats want to come on as well, so we can have some guests.
Yes. So this week's conversation was a bit heavy, right? Mm-hmm. And so we're going to continue that conversation. So I'm not going to do this last like I did the last time, right? I'm gonna start first because I heard burnout when we got on here, right? I want everybody to just like take the next 2 minutes. 2 minutes. So last time we did some affirmations, right? We had to stop, we had to pause because the things that we were talking about were very near and dear, to our hearts and has a deep effect on us, right? So when we go into conversations that we might have to exert that type of energy, we want to make sure that like we are centered, we are balanced, right? That we are protecting ourselves, right? And like everything else, we only want you to share what you feel open to share, what you feel safe enough to share. And we appreciate you sharing with us, right? So like last time, we're going to use our right hand and we're going to put it on our heart. We're going to use our left hand and we're going to put it right at the opening of our ribs, right? Right here, right? So at some point, right, we talk about chakras a lot. I'm not sure if you guys are into energy centers of your body, but up here is your heart chakra. And your heart chakra identifies with different types of emotions like letting love in and giving love, right? Do I feel worthy of love? Things like that. Your solar plexus chakra, where your other hand is that place of personal will, your go-gettedness, your tenacity, what keeps you going, right? So today I just want we're going to do a couple deep breaths, right? We're going to close our eyes for a moment. We're going to allow ourselves to just be in this moment, to let all of the noise of the day just release the noise. The things that may have been irritating you or agitating you, we're going to breathe those out. So we're going to breathe in through our nose and out through our mouth. And think about all of the things that you want to bring into your life as you inhale through your nose, and the things you are releasing out through the mouth. Let's do that 2 more times. In through the nose and out through the mouth. 1 more time. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And before we open our eyes, I want you to know that you are loved and appreciated. You are necessary. You are worthy. You're worthy of safety. You're worthy of being loved. You're worthy of being protected. You're worthy of healthy boundaries. You're worthy of self-care. 1 more deep breath in and release. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. We can all come back to the space together and get ready for this conversation. Right? So on Monday, we talked about our relationship with our parents. So the prior week, we talked about how we communicate with our friends, interpersonal relationships, things like that. But one of the greatest relationships that you may have or may not have is with your parents, right? So we had a few people share about what the communication was like between their parents, right? Can you communicate with your mom, your dad, or someone who is your guardian, right? And if you weren't here on Monday and you would like to share what that looks like, feel free to raise your hand or let Cam know. Because we were talking about emotional maturity, emotional intelligence, and trying to navigate through conversations. But how do we do that with our parents? How do we do that with people who are the overseers of our lives, right? To a certain extent, right? So if you would like to share on that point, let Cam know, and we would love to hear from you. Once we go through that portion, we're going to talk about something a little different. So I'm going to give you a second. Yeah, no problem.
I know Don said he wanted to hop on. I sent him the link, so
Okay.
I told him hop on when he's ready.
Sure, no
But
problem.
I can answer that question out loud. I feel like to a certain extent, I'm able to communicate with my parents because certain topics, you know how you kind of have that, not a fear, but you get anxious when you start talking to your parents about sensitive topics, like things that they don't necessarily want to hear, but you need their support on or their backing on. That you feel like you may not get their support, or they're going to be upset with you, or something like that, and then you just all right, well, let me hold it in, or let me talk to somebody else instead that may be able to help me. And sometimes that could be like a friend. It could be, another adult, like an aunt or uncle or something like that. But sometimes when it's your parent, is it's too close to home. That when you share, it's and then another thing is I've had instances where I communicated with my mom about something, and she may have called somebody else and said something to them, but I didn't necessarily want her to share it. So it's that trust factor too. I don't necessarily think that everything I share with you should go to somebody else. I need you to kind of be a safe space for me. And sometimes I would try to have conversations with her about it. Sometimes my dad would kind of be a mediator for those conversations, but it seemed like it would be a lot because my parents, they're not together, so we live in 2 different households, and it's we would sometimes be on the phone, and she Cam feels this way. Even when I moved down to Atlanta, and I was talking to him about the nature that I wanted my mom to be more nurturing. One thing that I kind of have that my mom is kind of still working on is being a little bit more loving and openly with it. I always say I love you. I say that to basically everyone that I come into contact with has heard I love you from me at least one time. And it's just in my nature. But my mom, she didn't really hear it when she was young, and I had that awareness that, you know, she didn't experience that when she was younger. So now it's like, how do I give this to her if I've never experienced it? But you can always do one or two things with, you know, trauma that you have experienced or things you haven't experienced. You can always make that active choice to show up as, you know, what you didn't actually receive. I see Don on, so I'm about to let him on, and maybe he got an answer too.
Okay. Hey, Donovan.
Hey everyone. What was the question again?
So the question was, so for Monday, we talked about your relationship with your parents, right? And how the communication styles come up. I do have a question for both of you while you're here. Even on Monday, they were like, well, certain topics we don't talk about. What are some of those topics that you're a little iffy about talking to your parents?
I know certain topics like sex and like sexual relations. I don't talk about with my parents because like mom be like, "Oh, you better not have sex until you're like out of high school," and it's like it's a normal human function. I don't know why I seen that taboo, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would echo what Dawn said. I definitely feel like with that conversation, that's one of the things that they don't want to hear about. And then when they do hear about it, that is something that they're going to be upset about. So, because it's like, one thing I know or noticed that, like in Black parents, they feel like if they don't talk about it, it won't happen. And we know that's not the case. Like, if y'all don't talk about sex, I mean, okay, but they're gonna learn about it from someone. Like, and it might not be the right person. It might be another, you know, youth that maybe, you know, they already have, you know, taken place in a sexual activity and may not have done it in the right way. So now it's like trying to bridge that gap. Elder's on too, so I'm about to let her on. I know Jimmy said she got the link too, so I sent it to her.
Awesome. Hey, Elder.
Hey, everybody.
How you doing? So we're talking about relationships with parents and communication styles. So are there things that you feel like you can talk to your parents about? What does that look like? How does that feel? We're looking for, you know, just what that relationship looks like for you.
Well, for me personally, it didn't get to the point where I was able to talk to my mother openly till I got older. And Cam can testify to this too. Like, it wasn't until I actually understood where my mother was coming from and understood her perspective to actually be like, I can trust my mother. Like, I can trust her with this information.
Got it.
Can I add to Elder's point real quick?
Sure.
I feel like too, like, I don't know, I haven't really got to this point fully, but like transparency could be so freeing. Like being able to see it, like we'll see Elder grow in this area, like seeing her be able to just be transparent about like everything that she may be going through with her mom. I just like that looks so freeing, like because I know, you know, the experience of being Elder friend where when things weren't all the way transparent, and now like seeing it when everything is transparent, I'm like, dang, well, your mother know that? Shoot, let me tell. Maybe I need to tell my mother a little bit more or something. But I feel like that part is just like when you don't have to like not necessarily lie, but like hide behind like certain things because you're afraid or, you know, anxious about how your parent will react.
Right. So
also, oh my bad.
Yeah.
I just feel like once you understand that your parent want the best for you overall, but a lot of times not all parents are like that. Like, not all parents really, really want the best for their child. And that's the unfortunate part about it. But the thing is, the parents who don't always want the best for their child don't want the best for themselves either. So they project that onto their child and they just use terms and they speak the way they speak because that's all that they know.
Right. So I heard you say, Cam, earlier, you know, if I can't talk to my parent about it, then I find like another adult, right? So everybody that's in the room right now, is there another person that you have that is a safe space for you? Somebody that you can go to, that you can share what you're feeling and, you know, vent, release, get some type of, what do you call it? Reprieve, right? So let me see in the chat. Do you have somebody that you can use as a safe space or is open to being a safe space?
For me, I know my friends in JRTC, we're like this. Um, Basically, like we realized like we're all going through stuff. So like one day we just had like a big kind of not like focus group, but like more of a group therapy session. It was really nice. Like now we have a group chat. We just talk to each other about our problems. We hang out together. It's honestly really nice and comforting.
Good, good.
I feel like I rely on Heart Smiles mentors heavily, like for all areas of life, for real. Like even things that I feel like are a little private, I feel like I can still share with them because they gonna like I know they care for me, I know they love me, but I knew that from like day one, and like they never given me a reason not to trust them. Like anything that I share with them, I know not going outside of them. So like.
Right.
I normally talk to like Miss Simone and Miss Mo. Like we always send like audio messages back and forth, and have calls and stuff like that. Have lunch sometimes, things like that. So I have those people.
Good. And what does that feel like when you have someone that is outside of your home space, right? Because we talked on Monday a bit about expectations. Sometimes we have this expectation for our parents to be the people, right? To be the go-to people. What does that feel like, or how do you manage the emotion behind, or I have to go outside and I can't get this, if that is your thing, right? Because some parents, they're open and welcoming, you can talk to them. But if that's not your thing, like how does that feel to have to go outside and be able to express yourself?
I feel like if you have a really good mentor, like Cam said, for example, Miss Mo, Miss Simone, Miss Joni, they can give you the tools that you need to navigate the hard conversations with your parents. Like for me, it felt freeing to have somebody that I could go to outside of my parents that could not only support me but also give me an adult perspective. Because yes, like Dawn said, it's great having friends that are real close, but your friends can only give you their perspective from a youth perspective is limited to only what they know. So having a trusted adult that you can go to that can say, yes, this is true, but this is where you were wrong, or this is where you could have been different, and actually explaining to you not only those things, but also how to accept those things. So for me, it felt good, but just having a mentor who can walk you through the tough conversations you have to have with your parents as well.
That's awesome. It's funny that you said that because that's one of the things that Mr. Desmond says to our son, right? Like when you feel like you want to go out there and try some things, like already understand that we've been there, right? Many times over. And the people that you're talking to can only give you this little piece of information because they don't have like full on experience about what's actually going on. I see a lot of people saying that their mentors have become family.
I want to say like for me to go to like my mentors, it's kind of like a home away from home. I kind of think about that, and then also like I don't think we talk about it enough, but it really do take a village. Like I know for my mom, she has 2 kids, but I'm 18 and my little brother, he's 5. And my little brother is a little bit different than I am, and he might need a little bit more attention than I do at being 18. But like I try to think of it as like not taking a burden off her shoulders, but like not having to have my mom worry about too much. Like I know she can't carry it all, and I know sometimes like mom and daughter relationships or whatever, mom and child or dad and child, like I feel like they're mutual relationships. Like a lot of times we see like our parent is they supposed to be the provider, but like we provide something to them too. Like we provide love, we provide care. Like anytime my mom, may be going through something and she's able to be transparent with me, like I nurture my mom. When she's sick, I take care of my mom, and it's like that's like not my friend, but like she was like my first friend. Like I came into this world with her, so like I view those relationships as like mutual relationships. So if I feel that maybe she may be going through a lot and I don't necessarily want to add to things. Let me go ahead and talk to Miss Mo. Let me go ahead and talk to Miss Simone, and I can talk to my mom about it later. Like, yeah, mom, Miss Mo and Miss Simone helped me with this, and this may be something you could apply too. Because some things I learned, I got to take it back to my mom. Because it's like, ooh, like, dang, I just learned that. My mom might can use that. So, I kind of think about it in that way.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I had a conversation with my mother one time because when my grandfather had died, I wasn't really there for my mom because I was trying to be there for myself. And then so months later, I came to my mom and I said to her, like, I'm sorry I wasn't there for you. And she was telling me, like, that's not your job. And I was like, what you mean? Like, what do you mean? Like, it is my job. You be there for me. So it's my job to be there for you. And she was telling me, that's not your job. You're a child. It's not your job to make me feel better. It's not your job to wipe my tears. It's not your job. And I feel like a lot of times parents put that pressure on their kids. And that's why I was feeling so guilty. Like, I'm like, it made me feel even worse not being there for her. Like, I just felt bad that I wasn't there for her. And then knowing that I wasn't there for her, I felt even worse. So I didn't want to be around her because I felt like I was supposed to be there for you and I wasn't. So now I feel guilty. And my mom was telling me, like, as a child, your job is to be a child. You didn't ask to come into this world. I brought you into this world. So if I'm stressing about the bills, it's not your job to try to take that weight off of me. And it's not your job to wipe my tears and make me feel better. And that really just changed my perspective. Like, and I wish more parents would think like that.
Yeah, that's a big one. I know when I was teaching at BDJ in, gosh, what was it, like 2012 on the west side in Walbrook Junction. I ran into a lot of students, and I was teaching 7th grade. So they were about 12, 13, 14-ish. And a lot of them were taking care of their siblings, right? They had to be literally the men, because it was all boys, the men of the house during that time, right? And that's a big stressor, right? That's a big stressor to put on anybody. Like, I have nieces and nephews that have done that. I've done that to an extent, right? When my mom had to work 3 different jobs, right? We were in the house taking care of each other, right? And it's not to say that it's all a bad thing. It's just like the harmony and all of the stories that go together, right? How does my mom manage taking care of all of us, keeping her sanity, keeping her well-being, right? And still do for these children, right? So Cam, to your point, it does take a village, right? It does take so many other people. And on Monday, one thing that stuck with me is that sometimes we want our parents to be those people. We want our parents to like come back and apologize to us. We want our parents to see our part sometimes. And the hard thing to accept is that they just may not be. They just may not be at the stage where they can do that in this moment. So having Heart Smiles and having mentors and linking on to people who can give you that ear, who can give you that word is priceless, right? And if I saw Naeem said, I have a mentor, but we don't talk much, right? You might need to find somebody else. Because if that's a need of yours, a mentor, right, is a person who's actually going to be there. Now, they might not be there 24/7, and you can call them at 1:00 in the morning, right? But it's a two-way street. This is a relationship, just like with your parent. This is a relationship, right? This mentor is going to give me wisdom, counsel, things like that, and I'm going to show up, right? Because there's a personal responsibility as well, right? Did you have something you set up?
No. I mean, so I hear a lot, right? So I want to tie this into what Jules says. Sometimes our parents just don't have it, right? I had a struggle with my first son. I really struggled with it because 1, I didn't want to be a father, and 2, like he just was not what I envisioned, right? And I'm saying that to say I had this thing that I said to him, and don't take this the wrong way, but I want you to really wrap your mind around what I'm saying, okay? So one day he was acting up in school, and I was at my son's school all the time, and I told him, I said, there are a lot of times, you ever stop to think that I wanted to be a parent? Like, did you ever really think about that I wanted to be a father? And I'm not saying that to hurt your feelings. I'm saying that to say that you being a kid, you should be a kid, but you're not really thinking about everybody that's involved here, right? We parents and we just tough it out. But I say that to say, I said, sometimes we want our parents to be different. I said, but do you ever think that I wanted a son to be different? And I'm saying that to say sometimes there's a disconnect because we have these grand expectations for our parents, which is as kids, I don't even say we should, but as kids we do, but also as parents, we have expectations for our kids. So I'm saying that to say, like, I'm not going to say it like I said it to him, but I'm going to say sometimes we want, and I said to him, I said, I may not be the parent you want, but did you ever stop to think that you're the son that I want? I'm saying that to say, right. So I'm saying that to say there's a disconnect sometimes, right? Because you mad at me because I'm not like how you want me to be, but I'm mad at you because you came from me and you're not like I want you to be and you're a part of me. Does that make sense? So I'm saying, and I'm not saying that to hurt anybody's feelings, because I was your age at one time before, but I'm saying that to say sometimes when we mad at our parents, we need to be thinking about these things, right? Because some of us, maybe Jewel, I know me, we're not here on purpose. We here because some things happen, right? And they don't talk about these things. But we have to, I feel like it would be advantageous that we give our parents some grace. I know we frustrated, they supposed to know. Dog, sometimes they just don't know. They just don't know. And just because they have a kid or 2 or 3 or 5, they still don't know. What y'all doing, taking the time to read some things or be in touch, that's a wonderful thing. So let me just say this and I'll shut up. If I only read comic books, am I going to know about autobiographies? Right. So right. So I'm saying to say, if I'm a parent and I don't know anything about emotional intelligence, I ain't never had nobody apologize to me. I don't know about apologies. All I know about is sucking up. How can you expect those things from me? How can I teach you those things if I never had them?
Yeah, and we talked a little bit on Monday too about like how being introduced to those things through our children might put us in a space like, this little person come in and try and teach me something.
Yes.
Right? Which isn't a bad thing, but you just never know like what's going on internally for them. I remember someone also saying that, like, I don't know, Donovan, it may have been you with your was talking about your relationship with your dad and not wanting to hear the truth, right? The conversation shuts down. I'm not sure if that was you or not, but the conversation shuts down when I'm telling them my truth, right? Or they get angry. Who knows what's going on inside of here, right? Maybe they were the child that was also trying to tell their parent something and they got shut down and they got battered down and they got suppressed, right? So now, okay, that's what we do. I'm going to carry that on. Whether it is, okay, Gemma, consciously or unconsciously, right? We do those things. We all have habits. We all have things that we carry on. And sometimes it takes self-assessment, self-awareness, and years to really dig it out. And sometimes it's just really the right situation. We always talk about a breaking point. Typically, well, we'll say it in this way: the hard knock life. Usually, it takes a hard moment where you hit a rock bottom that you really start evaluating. Yep, what's going on, right? Before it's like, okay, I'm gonna be all right. It'll be okay next time, right? Yeah, and then somebody hits you in your face, or a problem hits you in your face, and you have to deal with it. And sometimes, I'm telling you, it happened with me. There were things that I just like, okay, well, maybe it's okay. Maybe I'll get through it. It'll be all right, until it hit me in the face. And I had to do something different. So a lot of you are at a place where you have been enlightened. You have other tools. You have people who are showing you different ways. You have mentors that are showing you how to navigate, right? But some of your parents, some people who are older than you may not have that. And it might be scary for them to even begin to open up to those things.
So I heard you earlier, Cam, you said sometimes you're apprehensive or cautious or scared to talk to your parents about certain things, right? Sometimes as parents, we are apprehensive and scared to talk to our children. So I don't want to steer you wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to tell you that I don't know when I've been on the planet twice as long as you and I'm supposed to give you something. So no, I don't want to hear that because I don't got no answers for you. You understand? And I'm not saying that's always the case, but I'm trying to get y'all to see that sometimes when your parents are mad, it's masking fear. They scared.
Yeah.
Here I got this bright woman, this bright boy, and he has done things that I never thought fathomable that I could do. How am I gonna teach him something? And what's the first thing you go to when you're frustrated? Anger, right? Can you connect the dots to see what I'm saying? This is not me at all telling you to give your parents a pass. All I'm asking is to give a little grace. That's all I'm asking. Yeah, they said hurtful things to y'all. Absolutely. But have you said hurtful things to your parents? Have you thought hurtful things? Right. I appreciate the eyes, right? And I'm saying all these things to say, and I say this, yeah, I'm gonna say it. Being a parent sometimes is a thankless job. It's like that coach. I'm trying to get the best out of you, and you ain't listening to me. You go listen to somebody else that hurts, right? Does it make sense what I'm saying?
It definitely makes sense, but I feel like too, I hear everything you're saying.
Yes, ma'am.
But we also need to have a conversation about like that superhero expectation. Like I know a lot of times they feel the pressure, like they looking up to me for all of the answers and things like that. But one thing I really appreciate about my dad, or he's learning to do, is kind of like I appreciate that you look up to me. However, I know I was wrong with this, so I'm apologize and tell you what things I need to do to change. But like I also have to like talk to him sometimes about do a little pep talk with my dad sometimes about these things that you can work on, these things that you're really good at. Like even when it comes to like switching jobs and things like that, I'm like know your value, like things like that. Like we always just kind of have them like heart to heart conversations, but I feel like he knows that he doesn't always have to be my superhero. Like he doesn't always have to come to my rescue with things. Like sometimes, like I said, it's mutualism. Like I can help you with things that maybe you're not able to help yourself on. You can help me with things because of your knowledge of you being here for so long. You can help me fill in the gaps with things that I don't know. But it goes to that, that mutualism, but having that conversation.
So let me just touch the superhero thing real quick, right? So me and my wife have been playing with this idea that if we have a daughter or when our son gets older, he's going to call us by our names, right? Mm-hmm. Jewel and Desmond, right? Reason why, right? Because what you just said, superhero. If you only see me as Batman and you always say, or Superman, what you going to think? That I'm only Batman or Superman, right? Sometimes I'm Bruce Wayne. Sometimes I'm Clark Kent. But you only see me as dad. You only see me as mom. So you know what that means? I always got to do some super... You understand what I'm saying? I'm saying that to say we have to give our parents grace and understand that they have been people before they were just mom and dad.
Yeah, I'm really big on vengeance. Yeah.
Yes, I am vengeance. Talk my language, right? Talk my language,
That's
right?
my favorite movie.
Right, talk my language,
but
right?
It's true because I agree with you, Cam, because there was a lot on me. So when I had Simeon, I was 23, right? I was fresh out of college. I was actually, listen, quick story. So I went to Morgan. I have an electrical engineering degree, right? The last year, before I was about to graduate, I almost quit. Because I'm like, how am I going to do this life with a baby? There's no way. There's no way I could do that. And because of mentors, because of a village, they were like, no, you're not going to do that. No, you're not going to quit. You can't quit right now anyway. You can't drop any more classes. So go ahead and tough it out. And I didn't know how I was going to do that, but I still had this weight on my shoulder. One, at the time, I was a single mom, right? I was very young. I'm like, dang, I'm a statistic now. People going to look at me, funny. Like all of the weights of society that society puts on us specifically was weighing on me. It didn't matter that I had just graduated, from this illustrious institution with this amazing degree, right? being a Black woman, being in electrical engineering, and about to like tear down the electrical engineering streets where it's white male dominated, right? That wasn't even on my mind. It was like, how can I be the superhero in this little one's life? I have no idea. And literally, it took me many years to come to like the full acceptance of, all right, I'm mom, your son, we gonna get through this, right? Because I'm still carrying all of the trauma of the situation with me. So I want you to know that like we do need to rid ourselves of that. It's also a process, right? You see Miss Jewel in this light now, like depression was real, right? Not wanting to talk to people was real. Leave me alone was real. So it took a while. It took those touches. It took people not giving up on me, right? And it may not have been the same people. I know we talked to Sane on Monday, right? Sane might not be the person to get through to her dad, right? But somebody else may be, right? And you can only give the touches that are safe for you to give, where you're honoring yourself, where you're keeping your safe space, where you're keeping your boundaries, right? The universe will fill in what needs to be done, period, right? Don't take that weight. So superhero syndrome goes on both sides.
So
Yeah.
please, you first. You first. Where my lamb chop at? No, you're not. No, I'm dealing with y'all, but I want my stuff, man. I want my stuff. I want my food. I want my money. I just want y'all to know that.
Listen,
Okay,
when I start cooking, I'm gonna hook you up. When I launch my business, I'm gonna hook you up.
Okay, all right.
But
I want it before I'm on break. I want it before I'm on break.
oh man, we started talking about the land. I don't know if I should
I'm sorry. Come on. Thank you for that.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Matter of fact, Miss Jewel, finish what you were saying, and it'll come back. It'll come back.
So I was talking about how we both have superhero syndrome, right? We both feel like we need to meet these expectations of whether it's society, whether it's our family, right? Because I felt like I was supposed to be this amazing mom, but yet I'm 23, fresh out of college, you know, like really becoming an adult, going off to Washington State and living by myself for the first time, right? It's hard. I mean, if no one has ever told, it's hard raising children, right? It's hard trying to raise yourself, trying to figure out what's going on for yourself, right? Being in high school, it's hard to figure it out. It's hard to navigate the spaces. And I just think that we take on so much, and we lack grace. And that's what's going to be the theme for today. We just lack grace with ourselves, right? On each side. So I just think we both have some type of superhero syndrome or wanting to be perfect, that perfectionism, because we're not going to win in that way.
So I got a few things, but do you remember what you have to say?
Yes, I think.
Okay, go ahead.
Saying about like being the best mom ever. Like I'm reading this book, and it basically just talk about it's about doing your best. Not trying your best, but doing your best. Whatever is your best. My best and your best, and they're going to be two different things. But through work, through practice, through failure, your best changes. Your best is not the same now that it was 6 months ago. So it's about just doing the best that you can possibly do and not feeling guilty. And like you said, about being this perfect mom, like that's the dream that we make up in our mind. Like the society says, okay, in order to be the perfect mom, you have to do this, or in order to be the perfect mom, you have to do that. But in reality, it's about loving your child and doing your best. And sometimes our best might be bad, but it's our best.
Right, to the other person. Thank you for agreements. Thank you for that
reminder.
Right,
that's what that is. That's for agreement. I read that like 4 times, right?
Yes. But it's powerful, right? That little book, y'all take notes. Like the 4 agreements is such a powerful thing. It's changing your perspective. Instead of just being in the flow of what the dream of society and the dream of the planet is, you take yourself out that pond and you start looking. You start seeing, evaluating. Okay, is this really the way that I want to go? Is this really what I want to do?
Can I chime in real quick?
Please.
Yeah, please.
And I feel like really there is no dream. Like we look to be like perfect or whatever, but like we don't even really know what that look like. That's just something that we really made up in our head. And you know, for so long it's like we gotta try to put ourselves in this box. But like one thing that I really like kept me wanting to connect with you, Miss Jewel, is when that first session we had, you was like, I want to have people be okay with just being who they are. And I was like, dang, like, I probably would have thought of that, but I don't think I would have worded it in that way. And I was like, well, everybody kind of need to have that, just to be free and, you know, who they are. Like, of course, we all might need a little shaping, you know, a little molding. But, you know, it's not going to be this ideal like blueprint of how to live your life or how to be a mom or how to fill any role. It's like you make the role what it is by, you know, being who you are and truly having an identity.
Right. And so in saying that, Cam, that gets us away from what, so when you said there's not really a dream, I understand, but there is a projection, constant projection. Look on your phones, look in your sponsored ads, right? Hello, right? Look in your ad section. They selling you on a lot of stuff. Come on, buy in. Come on, get these smooth legs. Come on, get this contoured nose. Come on, you know, they're showing you the things that they want you to become. And we got to tune out the noise. We just got to tune all of that stuff out. Because it at the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
So I want to touch a few things. So I see Real Spill said there's not a handbook about how to be the best parent, right? I agree with you, but allow me to answer that with a question. Is there a handbook about how to be the best child? Right, you just winging it, right? So let me say this to y'all. Sometimes as parents, we winging it. And if I didn't have a good role model and I didn't get around mentors and all those things, and then I have a kid and I'm a kid myself, what you think? So so also let me say, I used to have this thing what I say to my son, I still say it to him, right? So he was right now he's 15. I said, I've been your age 3 times and you don't even realize that, right? So I'm saying that to say, not only do I have the wisdom, but I have 3 times the pain. I have 3 times the fail. I have 3 times of just for just experience in general, right? So leaning on that, but also when that means I have 3 times more time to try to dig myself out of a hole that I've been in since I've been your age. Because if something, from my understanding, I've read something about trauma. When trauma happens to us, we stand still at the age it happened. So if I'm 45 and I get a traumatic experience at 10, I'm still 10. Makes sense?
Yeah.
I'm not, and I know this is about how we communicate with our parents, but what I'm trying to do is give y'all a different perspective of how to see it and stop saying, well, you the mother, you supposed to. Well, if that's the case, and I say this to my son also, just like I got a role, I'm the dad, I'm supposed to provide. You're the son, you're supposed to listen. Why do you get to transcend your role and I don't get to transcend mine? Because as soon as I step out of bounds, you're not being a good dad. But when you step out of bounds, you get to fall back and say, well, I'm just a kid. That ain't fair. Because I used to be a kid.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and it's real. Donovan, I see you, right? PTSD is real, right?
Yes.
It really is. And as we're talking about this, I also want you to begin to hold space for joy, right? We often talk about like, I was traumatized. I was traumatized. I was traumatized. Yes. Yes. I acknowledge that. And how are we making space for what we really want? I don't want to be traumatized for the rest of my life. I do understand that ripple that's inside of me will be there. However, the size of the ripple can decrease, right? Through coping mechanisms, through healing, right? Through talking things out, through being transparent, right? Through sharing, through acknowledging, through acceptance, right? That sine wave can get smaller. It can just be a small buzz instead of a ring, right? And so I want us to really get to the place where we do acknowledge what we have gone through. Yes. Radical acceptance. Right? That's big. It's big. Yeah. So I just want to say that because I know that we get stuck at an age. However, we don't have to stay that.
Right.
We don't have to stay in that place.
I feel like more people need to be able to forgive themselves, because a
Come
lot of
on.
we subconsciously blame ourselves for what happened to us, and we say,
Yes.
well, I could have done this, or I could have did this, and it's like you couldn't. It was the past, and even if you could have, it was the past. It's over now. And I always try to tell people, we get a new beginning every single day. So forgive
Amen.
yourself. Okay, you shouldn't have gone there. Okay, you should have listened to your mother and it wouldn't have happened. But you didn't. And it's okay. Like, forgive yourself. That's where it starts. You have to really say, I forgive myself for that. And I feel
Yeah.
like that's where you really are able to get freedom, and you can actually start forgiving other people, because you can't forgive somebody else if you can't forgive yourself.
True. Thank you for sharing that. That's
I
so
got all day,
powerful.
Pastor. I got all day, Pastor. I got all day. No, so
Like, my connection keep trying to like take me out. Like, stop. Like, I'm trying to get through to something.
Right. You dropping them jewels
right,
up. Keep
I got
doing
all
it.
day, Pastor. Thank you for that, right? Because that is a big thing, right? So when you said about forgiveness, right? Some of us, like we want our parents, we want forgiveness from our, we gotta forgive our parents. We expecting our parents not to be who they are. You understand what I'm saying? If I sit a dog in front of you, are you gonna try to make that dog a cat? Why not?
Because it's a dog.
Right. It's not their nature.
So what I just said and what you just said, right? Why you keep, if your parents are dogs, why you keep trying to make them cats? If they cats, why you trying to keep making them dog? I'm sorry, if they're dogs, why you trying to make them cats? And if they're cats, why you trying to make them at any point, you understand what I'm saying, right?
Right.
But what I'm trying to say is,
Acceptance.
if we accept it, right, and if we got this knowledge that they wasn't privileged to, right? Because let's just say I can take a plane to York, but I only know about boat or car. I can't get mad, or you can't get mad at me, but I didn't know. I don't know what I don't know. I'm saying that to say what you said. What you said, Elder, about being in the past. You only can do with the knowledge of what you have. And some of us, when we get to a certain point, we don't want to learn anymore. We're scared to learn anymore because we don't want to expose our fallacies. All I'm trying to say to y'all parents ain't much different than y'all. They just had experience on the planet long enough to develop not only knowledge, but wounds and scars. And Donovan said it, PTSD is real.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. Like, when you communicate with your parents, are you communicating with that hope that we've been talking about? Or are you communicating with that openness? Like, I'm really trying to hear what you're saying. Because they telling you how they are. You just hearing the hurtful things. You're hearing their words, but you're not hearing their feelings. You're not hearing what they're really saying. And that's because you got your feelings going on inside. And justifiably so, you're a teenager and I shouldn't have to go through all this. But some of your parents have that same mentality. It's like, yo, this is not how I see my life. You're just supposed to get it.
Definitely. I remember I had a conversation with my father, and I just had to realize, like, my dad, he wasn't raised by his dad. His dad wasn't.
Right.
His dad died, and I
Right.
remember one time I was talking to my dad. He died when he was like 16, so it was
Mhm.
like I had to really be empathetic and understand that nobody, like, yeah, he had his uncle, and that's great, but he didn't have his dad. So he know how to be an uncle, like, he don't know how to be a dad. And I had to really understand that. And I remember one time he said, yeah, I really regret what I didn't do. I really regret. And I just was like, why are you regretting? Like, you're still here. I'm still here. We get new chances every time. You don't have to regret anything. Just make it right. Like, you don't have to regret anything.
So let me touch one more thing what Miss Jewel said. So Miss Jewel said that she became a parent or a mother when she was 23, right? Mm-hmm. So let's think. So, and I'm gonna talk about me. So I've been a parent since I've been 21, right? And as I've told y'all, I'm 45, right? I've been a parent the whole time. I've been trying to be an adult. So I'm trying to teach somebody how to be an adult when I don't even know what it is. Do you understand what kind of pressure that is?
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, it's taking the layers off, right? It's putting new lenses on. It's getting a different perspective, right? Challenging. There are things that my mother and I talk about now that we would have never talked about when I was younger.
Amen.
Right? There's apologies she gives me now that like I was looking for that like back then. But there's also apologies that I give her now because I'm like, I didn't understand. I didn't understand what you meant. Like you went through with all these kids, like how you do it. You know, I'm sitting over here with one biological. It's like how'd you do more? Right? So as we learn and as we grow, we become more empathetic, as Miss Elder says, right? That's a big thing.
Yes.
Also, you're talking about hearing people in a different way, right?
Yes.
We went through mediation training.
Yes.
In mediation training, you do not give advice. None. You listen to hear. You reflect back feelings and values, right? So inside of the conversation, it could get real heated. And what you're giving back to them and says, okay, so it sounds like respect is important to you. It sounds like, you know, this that happened here, you know, caused you some pain, right? I'm pulling out, I'm extracting what I'm hearing from the words that are being said versus what those words make me feel, right? So it's like making yourself like a conduit or a medium in that moment for that person's feelings and values. And it does take a level of maturity to do that, especially when you have needs, when you want to be seen and heard, when you want to figure out why can't I connect with you, right? So it just takes a level of practice to continue to hear other people, to give them grace, to give them space, right? While you also have your people, have your village, right? The places that you know you can go to and spill it all safely, do that, right? While you're working on these other relationships. Because as you're growing, so is your parent. As you're becoming more aware of what you're doing, what you're feeling, what you've experienced, so are your parents, right? Just at a different pace. When we first got married, we were growing at a different pace. Significantly, right? We're 8 years apart. So he had already had some more knowledge than I had, right? And we were bumping heads in the beginning because he's like, well, I don't know why you don't get it. I'm not sure why you're not changing. And I had to tell him, like, I understand, but I'm not you. Like, you might be able to turn something off in that instant. It might take me about 7, 8 times to like practice it, fail with it. Okay, let me reanalyze. What didn't I do right in that moment? Okay, maybe I can do this better. All right, let's go to the next one, right? And that might be the next day. Okay, almost got all the way. Maybe I'm about 65% this time, right? Not 100%, but we still getting better, right? So don't look for it to be 100% every time. Listen, literally 1% increase is progress. If I do something different in that moment, I won. I'm growing. I'm showing progress, right? So the grace comes in when you don't want this to have to be in this instant. Okay, I understand. It's going to take a while. And I'm going to be here to talk to you about, okay, what else I would like to see, how this also felt to me, right? So go ahead. No, that was it.
So
I was gonna.
yes.
Go ahead, please.
No. Let me get it. Go ahead. Do you think?
I was thinking about what Elder had did. I think it was yesterday. She was being a mediator, and what you had said about reflecting things back, it made me think about what she said about sometimes you gotta take out the truth and throw out the rest. And I was like, oh well, like I sometimes I do have to just be sitting back and watch how Elder talk to people, or even when we talking, because like Elder makes me think about things a lot differently than what I would, and I know that I sometimes do that for Elder too with certain things. Like we kind of bounce off each other with that grace part. Like sometimes we aren't always graceful with ourselves, but sometimes we need like a mirror like that tells us, oh, like dang, you might not be doing this, but you can work on this. But I know we kind of winding down on time, so we probably already had to do Jules. Honestly, I probably would make Winning Wednesday 2 hours since it's my session. But we going to end on time, be respectful of everybody's time, and have everybody do their Jules.
We appreciate you. We appreciate you so much. Like, please understand that we are not just here to teach you. Like, you are teaching us, right? We are getting jewels from you all, right? And the more that we understand each other, like, the better our relationships are as a whole. Like, we were talking about it earlier, like, having these conversations with you help us to go back to our son and have different conversations, right? And this is really what parents who are looking to connect with their children in a different way want to hear and need to hear. So I just want to thank you all for always showing up and being in this space and always being engaging and dropping jewels and sharing your experiences, because they are so beneficial. So I appreciate you all and I love you.
I just want to say, sometimes a lot of y'all might be first timers. You're the first time your parents have been parents. Would that be fair to say? So if it's the first time I've been a parent, that means I've never done it before, right? So how you expect me to be good at it? First time you've been a kid, just like life new to you having a mama, having a dad, life new to me having a son, having a daughter. So I'm going to say, you just got to be grateful. I know it's up. I know it's up. But when you know something more than another person knows, sometimes you got to be the one to take the stuff because you know different. And that don't dictate age. That just dictates knowledge. And I can't make you understand that. I'm not trying to give your parents a pass. I'm just saying that, unfortunately, parents have been kids, but you've never been a parent yet. So they can kind of relate to your struggle, but you can't relate to theirs. Does that make sense? So just be grateful, right? And if you can't be grateful, just don't say nothing.
Right. Just listen.
Just listen.
It might be the moment to just listen.
I'm gonna add to what you said real quick, and then I'm actually say my jewel. I really think those hard experiences that we had, we remember those way more than we do for good moments. But they
Yes.
also like help build us up. Not saying that anybody deserves having a parent that has bad habits, because I won't label them and say bad parent. But
Yeah.
those things also allow us to go and sow seeds to other people. Like you were saying, like sometimes I may be able to talk about something and that somebody else might not have experienced, or like coping mechanisms that somebody else needs, and I can just share them with that. But one thing that was like, I thought, well, my jewel, and something I thought was like a common theme throughout this conversation, is that we need to look at things with I do have mindset versus I don't have mindset.
Yeah, come on.
A lot
Come
of things
on.
that we have that it's like, oh, I don't have this, but you do have this though.
Yes.
And I really pulled that from today's conversation. So I really appreciate y'all coming on. I'm really looking forward to y'all coming next Wednesday. I think I really need to just get on Mission Monday so I can just get the full scope of everything. But yeah.
I just want to say thank you. Thank y'all, man. Like y'all wonderful, man. If nobody else tell y'all, we believe in you, we love you. Thank y'all.
Yeah.
I love this session so much. Like, I really love y'all down, but I guess my jewel would be that it's okay to not be okay. I know, like, say someone asks you, like, how was your day? You're lying, like, oh my God, it was amazing. I had so much fun. Like, whole time you just had a breakdown in the background like 15 minutes ago. It's okay. It's okay. We all have it. We all go through it, and we're gonna get through it. So yeah.
Love that. Thank you.
All right, well, I think Elder connection went out, so hopefully she dropped her jewel in the chat because we got to close out. But I love y'all. I can't wait to see it. I really might have to come on Mission Monday for real, because the way that we got to wait all the way till Monday to experience it all over, that's crazy. But hey, hopefully we still continue the partnership after June, after July, this summer. We still just have y'all all connected because the heartbeats love y'all. All right, Elder got us before we got off.
Mm-hmm.
She said, put yourself in other shoes. Like, yes, we are the star in our own movie, but understand they have their own movie too.
Come on, Elder. You know, I love Elder. I love Elder. I love her. She deep. She deep.
Elder is so real. Like,
Man,
earlier, me and Elder waiting for the subway, and we just had a conversation, like, dropping jewels back to back. I love Elder down.
Man.
You can't even talk to her, man, because she's going to take you to another planet. You can't even talk to her, man. Goodness.
All right, y'all. We looking forward to next Monday. Have a great night. Have a great rest of your week.
Thank you.
you
Thank
know,
y'all.
put
Love all
positive
y'all, man.
energy all out there, because I know y'all do it every day, not just with the 1 hour that y'all spend with us. But yeah, see y'all.
Thank you.
See y'all. Love y'all.